The Bristol public have been dubbed throughout history as infamous theatre-goers. As frequent drinkers and fans of rowdy comedies and the spectacular, any attempt to inject higher steam culture into the theatre ran the risk of being severely wounded by public opinion. If it wasn't funny, they just weren't going. Cigar smoke, drunken heckling, and penny tossing into the pit below put off the more genteel patrons of the theatre, proving that as a majority, Bristolians may well have always proved to be a rough crowd for the aspiring artist. As critical comedy seekers and reverers of the raunchy, any newfound attraction of considerably base humour and intrigue was warmly welcomed. The continually growing influx of foreign performers and the resulting necessity of an increase of cabin provisions suggest that there was no shortage of exotic entertainment in the city centre. It would seem that an evening's delight could be found anywhere, not just within the confines of a candlelit stage on King Street. In short, the Theatre Royal had to keep up with the times in order to keep its clientele. This clientele reportedly consisting of rogues, vagabonds, vagrants, and sturdy beggars, according to George's patent. The theatre opened in 1766 and was designed by Christopher Wren based on his Drury Lane masterpiece inside the capital. It ran illegally for several years, seemingly unnoticed through the assistance provided by one Mr. Foote, whose household acted as the entrance to the theatre for many years. Out the back door and down the garden, people filed through this secret passageway into a den of delight. Dealing of tickets were sought out through the butcher located at the bottom of King Street, yet another local businessman of sorts, whom would hand out these theatre tickets with his produce, along with a tantalising though perhaps outdated theatre-going treat, a pair of pig's feet. Smells familiar? The need for theatre outweighed the moral limits of the law, as it would seem, as theatre-going had become a long-known and recognisable public affair long before the theatre patent was granted by George III in 1778. This honourable patent cost the theatre a grand total of £275. This was not to say, however, that the theatre would be upgrading the quality of its performances for some time. As fashions changed direction, so too did the central orbit of the theatre. Sprawling away from Queen Square uphill towards Clifton, it would seem that the Theatre Royal could not pin its public down. Its Drury Lane designs were uninspiring, its theatre outdated. A new Regent Theatre opened in 1867 on Park Row as the New Theatre Royal, providing for both the harbourside clientele and the high-fashion theatre-goers of Clifton. The Prince's Theatre, ran by the same Mr. Shute whom had dismissed the Theatre Royal, was a great success up until its complete destruction during the Second World War bombing. The Old Vic, having somewhat averted disaster throughout the war-stricken years, continues to survive today as one of the oldest working theatres in the country. Yet the question perhaps lingers, would the theatre have been eventually outmoded, made obsolete by this younger and geographically superior social hub of the times, were they to coexist as competitors? This reality we may never know.